Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on YouTube.com with me, Stuttering Craig. I like movies that have sand in them. Wow.
He doesn't like it in his mouth.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
I don't like the texture in my mouth.
What? And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and Twitch.tv. What's going on, everybody? Hey, happy Monday to you. Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the #1 and most important video game podcast on planet Earth, broadcasting at 11 a.m. Central Time on this channel right now. Side Scrollers. Here we go, man. We're going to have a great show today. I am beyond excited to be hanging out with you guys today here on a Monday. Joining us today, Blabs. Hello, Blabs.
You know, I'm offended that you didn't even comment on my pumpkin troll earrings.
I was actually just about to.
Listen, sure.
If I'm going to save it for the show.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at
it. There's
Look
little
at it.
pumpkin trolls. They're kind of heavy though, but I like them.
You are the pumpkin troll. That's who you are, which is great.
I am. Dude, I love trolls. Like when I was a kid, I used to collect all the Rush trolls, like all the 80s and 90s ones. They're so cute.
Nice.
Yes.
Speaking of trolls, let's introduce our friend in black and white from the great state, asterisk, of Arizona. It's RazorFist.
From the absolute state of Arizona. How the hell are you, folks? You know, I almost commented on those earrings. I thought they were pineapples. But
No.
it turns out instead of a
abomination.
bad pizza topping, it's just a bad coffee additive.
I need my. I just realized I don't have my glasses on. What an idiot!
I'm prepared.
You are.
That's all right.
I got my drunk goggles. I should wear those all stream.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe
You
my
look like
upside-
Brett the Hitman Hart. Just rock that look the whole time.
Upside down goggles.
Yeah, we should make Craig like read with like his drunken goggles on and read an article.
Oh,
Yeah.
those drunken goggles have done so much damage to my eyes. I'm telling you, I have, and some would say IQ as well, which is. But look, we got a great show today. We got so much to talk about. We're going to get into these new kick community guidelines in terms of service stuff. Which, man, if the slope wasn't slippery enough, oh my gosh. We have some cops who have been fired for playing video games, which we'll get into that very, very shortly. We're also going to talk about the idea that, well, you can't make that today, which I saw an interesting video which prompted this discussion today, which should be good. Our friend David Jaffe had a really good tweet over the weekend, which I can't wait to talk about that. A super rare Nintendo game is on eBay. You guys know I like to bring those things up. I like to bring up nostalgia, and by the way, thanks to Shamsa for pointing that out. But we're going to get to that here in a little bit. We got a ton of quick hits, including our favorite IRL streamer ever, who is constantly being assaulted, was assaulted again in public in Australia, and we're going to be talking about that. It's like it's at this point it's almost comical.
He's starting to feel like our man on the street a little bit, actually. Kind of should bring him on payroll.
It's funny because I think it happens over the weekend, and with you being on Mondays, it's just one of those things that I feel like we should probably talk about because,
right?
It's like he has a target on himself at all times, except he's telling everybody where he's at all times. But we'll get there. We have a Rumble account, which I hopefully you guys head on over there and hit the follow button on rumble.com/sidescrollers. If you guys don't like watching on YouTube, you guys can watch over there. We're approaching 3,500 followers over there, which is great. We have a Twitter account. You can follow us at SideScrollerPod if you guys want to catch up on clips. We're going to start posting clips over there as well of full length clips. So, you want to watch a 10, 15-minute clip of the episode, you guys can watch over there, as well as obviously here on YouTube. And we have an Instagram, don't we, Blabs?
Yeah, we're one away from 520, so if you're not following, you should, because we'll also be posting clips there too.
And memes, right? Yeah, love
All
that.
memes.
We need to get Craig in a bikini. We'll pump those follower numbers up. Let's just get that to happen.
I don't think that would help.
I feel like that would lose followers.
Well, depends on the audience.
What are you gay?
He's a big hit with dockside bars.
What's funny is so at Game Attack we had this incentive to where we had these, they were I don't know, there was this 2-month window where there was this onesie outfit for women, right? Where it looked like Borat's bikini.
I was gonna say it's like Borat's slingback thong thing.
Right. So in my younger days, we 5 or 6 years ago, we took these pictures in them, and they have not seen the internet yet.
Oh dear God!
So I'm waiting for someone who is looking for revenge on me to be like, look at this idiot posting picture, So we'll see how those.
I say pull a Hunter Biden. Just get out ahead of it. Open an OnlyFans.
Only Craig.
Right.
we got only Craigs. We got only Blabs. We got the whole thing, man.
Whatever happened to those Only Blabs T-shirt? Is that a thing? Can that be a thing?
It can be. It can absolutely be a
thing.
Yeah. We have passed 45,000 subscribers over on YouTube. Once again, our goal is 50,000 by the end of the year. Let's see. We're currently sitting at 45,398 right now. So do us a favor, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We'd love for you guys to join us and help us hit our goal of 50,000 by the end of the year. I think we can do it as we're up over 7,000 in the last 28 days. So you guys seem to be liking what we're doing. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate that. Our goal is always 300 every episode, and 20 memberships is our goal every single episode. Let's see if we can do that, whether it's authentic or gifted. We appreciate any and all support. Thank you guys very much. Today, after the show, you can join me over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel for the Mega Man Funathon as I'm playing through Mega Man 2.
Ooh, there we go. The classic.
It is
of that OG trilogy, what is the favorite?
Well, see, there's original 6. That's the thing. There's technically 2 trilogies. There's the 1 through 6 on the NES, but most people stopped after 3, right?
Right.
I would say Mega Man 2 is my favorite. I know a lot of people like Mega Man 3.
I feel like it does split up kind of into a bunch of trilogies, right? It's kind of like 1 through 3 are like a bunch, 4 through 6 all kind of feel the same, right? Like it kind of splits up that way. Mine is 3 personally. I love 3.
Well, maybe you should come on when I get to 3, and you could help me out, because I played more 2 growing up than I did 3. So I'll have more trouble with 3. But I was breezing through Mega Man 2 on normal mode, and then I got reset, so now I got to play it on difficulty, which is pretty fun because they have I think it's the only Mega Man game that has multiple difficult settings. So it has a normal mode and then a difficult mode. So now I got to play through difficult. So that'll be later today over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel. This Thursday, I'll be doing a one-on-one interview with Gary Nerdrotic, which will be awesome. Looking forward to that. We're going to get into all sorts of good stuff. And as you can tell, I'm currently suffering. I think we use the term suffering way too much in society these days.
Right.
But I'm currently suffering from allergies.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. A lot of people,
he's being martyred. It's the passion of the Craig.
Man, the worst mistake you can do, the worst mistake, absolute worst, is mowing the lawn in October in Texas, which I did yesterday, and I have been feeling it for the last 18 hours or so. It's been a rough go. So pray for me.
Hashtag thoughts and prayers.
That's
Get
right.
that Craig filter over your avatar on social media.
Get him a GoFundMe.
Pray for me, guys. That's right. I will say this, though. A lot of people have been save your prayers for someone else on the show. You guys, you got a lot of people asking about what's going on with Travis. Where's Travis been? been talking to Travis pretty consistently over the past week or so, and I just want you guys to keep Travis in mind. He's been in the hospital, and that's pretty much all we're going to say about it. But just keep Travis in mind. He didn't really want to talk about what he has going on or anything like that, but he's been in the hospital. But he should be out in the next day or so, very, very soon. So just keep him in the back of your mind, and when he gets back, we'll welcome him back and all that fun stuff. But he's got some health stuff going on, so we just want to keep Trav in mind as we move forward with the show. So save your thoughts and prayers from my allergies and transfer them over to Travis. So there you go. All right, man. Let's get on this thing today. We're gonna have a really good show. Bitgrease came in as a brand new member, which is odd because I could have sworn he was already a member, but that's okay. Thanks so much, Bitgrease. Appreciate that. E. Smith came in at the $4.99. Says, howdy, y'all. Razor. Ready's Atlas Bioshock voice.
Would you kindly?
Finally, go ahead, Razor. Go ahead.
Would you kindly get Terran to unban you? I have no idea. I don't know what Terran did. He had Terran is the guy who, when I stream, he handles the chat and everything, and nice. he does all the things that take skill to do. Right. I sit there and handle the dick jokes. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm sorry if it's the same name, then I'll try and look it up.
We should launch National Moderator Day. Like,
right?
Like I think that should be a thing. We usually start the show with whatever the day it is, but maybe we launch National Moderator Day. So, which is great. Tara Crystal came in with the 2. Says Blabs love looking good today as always.
Thanks.
She got like the tropical starburst kind of flannel going on here today. I'm digging it. I'm digging the color palette.
Yeah.
Way in a row.
And then Metastep came in. Blabs, go ahead and read that off for me.
Why does everyone want to see Krog humiliate himself? 2 months, let's go. By the way, I've been laying MK1 and enjoying it. I think he means he's been playing Mortal Kombat 1.
I hope he means playing.
He's been laying it with MK1. You do you, boo.
He's been hitting that shit.
Dylan for $2 says, "Hey Razor, when's Sabaton?"
I don't know what you mean.
Sebastian?
It's an ongoing meme. I haven't covered. I do Metal Mythos, where I cover metal bands. I do the whole discography of metal bands. Done Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, all the big guys. Haven't done Sabaton yet, so everyone's hounding me until I do it.
Hey, you know what? Back in the old at Screw Attack, we had the Death Battle show, and everybody wanted to know when Superman versus Goku was going to happen.
Oh God, I remember that. I remember that.
And guess what? Superman versus Goku happened, and it was the biggest one. I think it's still their biggest episode. Hey.
There we go. Corey Hart intensifies.
I thought you said you didn't have them.
One simple text to my wife while you are reading off super chats. Let's go. Market Reality, thank you very much for coming a member. Love that. That's 2 for the day. Let's get to that 20. Love to see that. Outstanding. Yes, but when Sabaton does happen, number 1, don't do it for a long time. That's my best advice. Just let people keep asking.
I've already got that covered.
Right. Yes. Let it keep going forever. And then eventually when you hit it, yes, it'll be huge. So
it's kind of like waiting for marriage. It's like good shit.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Man, we got so much to talk about today. This is going to be great. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Love that. All right, Blabs, you got the first story today. Fire away.
Yes, I do. All right, guys. So,
Hold on. I'm sorry. I can't see the story through all your ads.
What? Listen here. I tried my very best this year. All right, let's try this again.
Blabs, just make the text bigger.
Oh.
It'll squeeze out.
Right.
It'll squeeze the ads out.
Like every time I try to zoom in on something, it's like, do you want to look at this ad instead? And I was like, no, I really don't.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Let's go.
I'm learning. I'm boomer blabs today. All right. So in LAPD, 2 cops are too busy playing Pokemon Go that they actually ignored a robbery call. Like an armed robbery call. Not even like a robbery, just armed. Wow. So I have the video here.
Okay.
Where are you playing? Oh, okay. Maybe you were able to live chat with whoever you were playing a game with online right now. I'm like,
oh
dang.
no.
It was nice to have one more Pokeballs and have the potion, because then you don't have to. Oh yeah, yours is 962 also, right? We're both on 3. Yeah, keep thinking you're 31 as well. I didn't freaking market do that.
So did they get a call?
Yeah, there was a call and they were ignoring it.
Okay, so this is from 2017, so it's not like today.
But they apparently have just been fired about it. Like, I have not been associated with the department since 2018. I guess it's now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Pokemon Go. What the fuck?
Maybe they were just really invested in Pokemon, guys.
Pokemon go to the jail. Fuck.
Pokemon missed the call, I guess. But you got a call, not them two.
Wow.
But yeah, I think that's hysterical that they would actually, not hysterical for, not assisting a robbery and all that, but hysterical that that's what they miss. Like in the beginning of the year, we had the whole sex scandal with that woman sleeping with everybody and like their husbands. And then we have the Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm. What's funny is you look at that, and my first thought was, if it was today, which the way you presented it initially was that this is in 2023, which it's a result of something that happened a while ago. Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. Let's take a step back because I'm a little confused in this, Blabs.
Let's take several steps back.
Yes. So this happened in 2017.
Yes.
Have they been working since then?
No, they were unassociated with the department in 2018, but apparently the news just came out about it.
So wait, it took. I don't know if that's a worse statement about the media.
Was it all of it?
Well, okay, so there are websites who release like body cam and dash cam footage and what. So like, is that literally what happened here? Basically, somebody finally released that footage, and that's why it's suddenly a controversy.
Well, it says here the officers appealed their terminations, arguing the recordings were private conversations that should be dismissed. But in January of 2022, the California Court of Appeal affirmed a decision by a lower court that the LAPD was justified in the firings. So, like, it took ages and years for this to actually go to court, it seems, 2022. Right. And then now in 2023, everything just came out about it.
That's an interesting conversation. Wild. Interesting conversation, the idea that they're arguing that it was a private conversation, which I would say if you're in a police car going around, that ain't private, homie.
Not only that, but these guys are literally walking around with little fucking Dark Knight cameras on them all over the place, right? Like, does privacy even exist at that point?
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with you. I think
it's always been one of my big bugaboos.
Do you turn them off when you use the bathroom and stuff? As an officer, it's like, hang on, look at this while I pee. Like, whoa.
And they drink a lot of coffee and eat a lot of donuts. They spend some time hitting the head.
Absolutely ridiculous. He's like, wait, California has a police force?
LA has a police force? What?
In theory.
Once again, this was in 2017. This is when they were still allowed to work there, which is great. So that's crazy to think about. But rest in peace, officers. For your jobs. That's rough, man.
Oh, they're fucking Paul Blart Mall Cop right now. That's what they've been doing for the last 5 years.
Right.
Play Pokemon Go while they're on the Mall Cop.
Right.
I'm sure that they were like, yes, we get to go around. Like, we're literally paid to go around town and find these Pokemons. Like, how great is this? And if you were to look at their heat map or their the heat map around town, like, why did you stop at this dumpster?
A Raichu spawns over here. They're suddenly all over patrolling that area. Holy shit.
And they don't even have to pay for the gas, right? They can go all over the place, gas free.
Right. Oh my God. They're like, stop. They see a perp running down the street. Stop. Is there a Pikachu over there?
What?
They'll be like, but wait a second. Can you not commit that crime for 2 minutes? I have to capture this little Pokemon right here.
Hey, just hold on, guys. Just hold. Yeah. Get your partner to hold down.
Freeze! I gotta get this little freaking Charizard.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Vault came in with the Rumble rant. Says, hell yeah, Razor's here. Love your stream with Eric. Looking forward to Ghost of the Badland. Love your history videos. Do you plan on making more? And could I make suggestions like British Plam R4?
I don't know what that is, but yes, I'm gonna be making a few other videos about like historical topics and whatnot. I think you and I talked a while back about I might do one on Joe McCarthy. There's a few different subjects throughout history that I want to talk about. Maybe the decline of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I think it's a little early in the morning to be talking about the decline of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Let's go ahead and move on.
I love it. Dude says Blabs and Craig need to start using the Brave browser to get rid of all those ads. Hear that, Blabs?
Well, I have an ad blocker, but it doesn't work with Daily Mail, so I just
that shit was like made of ads. That was amazing.
Yeah, pretty spectacular.
I was like going on IGN like 8 years ago. You remember when they reviewed Mass Effect 3 and you went on the page and the banner ad was Mass Effect 3 and the margins were Mass Effect 3 and there was a Mass Effect 3 wallpaper and an ad for a Mass Effect 3 competition. And oh, hey, by the way, here's our perfect 10 out of 10 Mass Effect 3 review.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell you this. What's funny about this is I've never been approached personally, and ScrewTech had a pretty good audience back in the day, but and we got sent review copies. I was never approached, and I don't know anybody that was ever approached with the intention of being paid for a review. But when things like that happen, where it's like, here's an ad campaign and here's the review, and by the way, the game is really great, I could absolutely see why people would perk up and be like, interesting, So
right. Or like that thing that happened. What was that guy's name? Jeff Gerstmann.
Yeah.
Back in the day where he gave, what was it, Kane and Lynch? He gave it a bad review, and they had this huge Kane and Lynch ad campaign and a contest going on the website.
Yes.
5 minutes after his review drops, like, clean out your shit and get out of here.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because that was major news back in the day. And I think people talk about like the video game journalism and like video game journalism and all the controversy.
That was before Gamergate. That was way before.
Yes, you are correct. And I think those are the dominoes that lead to the distrust of the gaming media, Right. So dude came into the one, says, if this happened today, I wouldn't blame the cops. The DA would have just let the person they arrested back out because they don't care about property crimes. Cops don't deserve privacy on the job. And
yeah, I was going to say, that's what always bugs me is, we'll have debates about photo radar cameras and closed circuit television and surveillance and the surveillance state and whatnot. And everybody gets really, really heated and passionate about their particular stance on that issue. But suddenly when you put a closed circuit television camera on a cop, an armed agent of the state who is recording you without your knowledge anytime you encounter, like, suddenly it's copacetic, right? That seems like a way bigger lapse of privacy to me, and nobody really frisked that idea down before anybody implemented it. Bugs the shit out of me, that one.
The idea of privacy is a fascinating thing, because if you don't think that the people who want access to you can't get access to you like immediately right now, then you're so off kilter. It's insane, right? Like, we have all these things hooked up to the internet. We got these crazy devices that are always staring. Yeah, right. Just need
Hello,
to know
my personal FBI agent. My personal team of FBI agents.
I'm gonna call him Jimmy. Sup, Jimmy?
All right.
Jimbo, let's go.
How you doing?
We should give them all nicknames. We really should. I think Jimbo's working today, actually.
He's got you. Extra Zero says, I worked in Baltimore in 2016, and the prison across from my building was a freaking Pokestop. That's amazing.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Major Leader says, directly to jail. Do not pass Pokemon Go. Do not collect $200. Thank you, Major Leader. Appreciate that. Initial C says, it's LA. Perp would be let go anyways, right?
Right.
True.
Right. Agamemnon Fireman says, love this lineup. Craig and Razor are legends. Razor, would you consider moving Mythos over to Rumble or unauthorized? Copyright sucks. Miss that series.
Yeah, I probably see more likely what would happen is if I get a video out, a Metal Mythos video, because obviously you're using video clips and music clips and all kinds of stuff that trips copyright. I could see having to edit something down to the point where there's very little of that and releasing that on YouTube and then having an unedited version on Rumble and unauthorized. I could see doing that, but I would still try and bring it to YouTube if it's at all possible.
I think that's a great way to do it. And you know what you should do is like, so I stream, I do a music stream, which it's a music appreciation stream where I just like listen to music with the community and it's awesome.
Nice.
But obviously you can't do that on YouTube. Right.
No,
so
you cannot.
Yeah, I do it over on Rumble, and it's awesome. D-Day Direwolf came in with the membership for 2 months. Says God effing speed. Let's go. Thank you. And Samuel says, how often does Razor think about the Roman Empire?
Not nearly as often as I think about the Roman Republic.
Ooh, nice. That was that meme that was going around 2 weeks ago. It was always funny to see those dudes who'd respond and they're like, well, actually, let me tell you. And they're like,
yeah.
I don't really think of it very often outside of thinking about maybe movies that took place in the Roman Empire, you know? So,
right.
Brandon says, would Razor ever do an interview with Colin Moriarty? I think it would be an interesting conversation. He ironically gave Mass Effect 3 that high
he
score.
Sure did, and I called him a piece of shit when he did it. Colin Moriarty has undergone an interesting transformation. I still remember that. Didn't he do that video where he was calling gamers entitled for saying Mass Effect 3 was bad and shit like that? Like I still remember that. That was quite the early shitstorm.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember. I've interviewed Colin on the channel, and
I get the sense he has migrated on certain issues in the years since.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what's interesting is I think that Colin has always been who Colin is, but I think that he was surrounded by people who have changed their stances over the years, right? And you saw what happened with, he was part of Kind of Funny after they left IGN, and Kind of Funny left him out to dry, and because he said he was a Trump supporter or he was going to vote for Trump, and so they
he's like a libertarian guy,
right. It's a messy thing. Anyways, if you guys want to watch that interview, it's a full interview with him, and there's tons of clips on the channel of me talking to Colin. But it's interesting for sure. Captain Furlow says, truly cheering and sobering realism from Razor after today's vid. Thank you for reminding people it's okay to laugh.
All right, Godspeed. Glad you enjoyed it.
Well, tell everybody about your video that you released today.
I just made it. It just came out like an hour ago. It's just about the Israel and Palestine thing, and I basically split it up into 2 parts. I did one where I was in character and I was telling all the horrible jokes that are going to get me canceled, and then I cut that off. And then out of character, I did a bit actually reacting to the tragedy and talking more so to contextualize. Like, I've made jokes about what's happening in Israel and Palestine, and I will continue to, for the record. And you'll get most of the response will be from your followers, and it'll be relatively positive. People kind of having their jaded responses to the situation, whatever. But then you get the people who say, oh, well, that's insensitive. And it's like, last time I checked, World War II was like the biggest tragedy to befall mankind in terms of pure human cost. I don't remember Bob Hope, who spent the entire war lampooning it, pausing and thinking, is this insensitive? I don't know if I should actually go around to the various troop encampments and put a smile on their fucking face. Like, I don't remember that. So I felt like I had to sort of contextualize. So it's sort of split into a in character, out of character kind of video.
Well, okay, I think that's awesome, and Blaz, we'll make sure we link to that. Put a link to that in the description and in the chat and stuff. So that actually is a really good segue to one of the things I wanted to talk about. We'll come to Kick in a little bit, but I wanted to talk about this thing. You said some people found it insensitive, or our jokes are insensitive during a certain time or whatever, right? I saw this clip from TMZ of all things, where the main guy at TMZ, I don't know if you'd recognize him if you saw him, right? The guy who runs TMZ and hosts it. I don't. Know.
Bob something.
I don't know, but
can't remember.
They had the creators of the movie Airplane on for an interview, which Airplane is thought of as an all-time comedic classic. It's campy, it's funny, it pushes things.
And more importantly, the creators of The Naked Gun and Police Squad.
Yeah, man, it led to many opportunities, which is great. So these guys' names, the creators are Jerry Zucker and Jim Abrams. And there's one scene in particular during this interview. It's about an 8-minute interview, obviously edited down. But I wanted to talk about a 90-second clip here, where they talk about one scene in particular in Airplane, and that is the Jive talk scene, right? Which people today would find that insensitive, right? I want to play this clip for you, and I want to talk about this. Is just crazy insanity to me. So here we go. Just take a look at this real fast.
So when you did this movie, I mean, it's so funny because I think about it all the time. I mean, that scene in particular.
We'll get to that scene.
You couldn't do that today.
Okay, so they open up talking about you couldn't make this today. What are you talking about? And so the line has been put in the sand. Right? Here it is. Let's continue.
And I'm wondering if that was. It didn't occur to me back then.
For those who don't know, we're talking about the Jive talk scene
with Barbara Billingsley.
Yes.
So, was there discussion even way back then about, gee, can we push the envelope this far, or was comedy so fundamentally different that you could do anything as long as there was humor as the undertone?
I don't think we've ever worried about good taste, Harvey. You know, but we really then that Jive talk was popular. We'd all seen the movie Shaft, and we couldn't understand anything that they were saying. But it occurred to us that we were the clueless ones. And I actually think we could do this today, except that Jive is no longer current. But when this came up, black audiences loved it.
You're right. You could do it today.
Okay. So in the span of like 45 seconds, we went from there's no way you could do this today. Yep. What are you talking about? This is insane. This idea of like, this kind of pushes boundaries. And these people were like, well, yeah, we could, but we would just make sure that it's relevant to today. And then they come back and like, oh, actually, yeah, you could do it today. Yep. And I thought this was such an interesting metaphor because when people say, oh, you can't talk about that, you go, well, why can't I? And they go, well, I guess you can. You know,
you can talk about anything if you don't give a fuck.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. That's guys, this is the secret of cancellation. Are you ready for this? It's a participation sport. It requires both sides to participate in order to permit the cancellation. You have to kowtow, you have to apologize, you have to appear guilty. Joe Rogan's a classic example of this, right? They tried to cancel the shit out of him not long ago. What was it, like a year ago? On Spotify, tried to get all his stuff taken down and whatever. And he never kowtowed. He offered kind of a limp-wristed, if people are offended about that, I guess that's a shame. But he didn't walk back any of his remarks at the end of the day. So he didn't participate in the cancellation. Ergo, it didn't stick, and he wound up making more money than anyone has ever made before in podcasting, right?
Right.
If you refuse to participate in it and you're unrepentant and you continue on course, like if you don't break stride, they lose. That's how that works.
1000%, right? You have to. I've said that all along. Like you can only be canceled if you care to be canceled, right? And if people come in, oh, you can't do this, just get out of here. Leave me alone. Just if you just keep pushing to the side. But as soon as you start bending that knee and that's when you lose. You decide when you lose, not other people, which is absolutely insane. But
I have a question about Jive. Is that the same as Jive talking by Bee Gees?
Sorry, we got to clip that. I have a question about Jive. You're going to ask one of the whitest men on planet Earth.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's a song by the Bee Gees called Jive Talking. So as soon as they said the word Jive, I was like, Is that what they're talking about in the song?
It is.
Okay, listen, I love the Bee Gees. I was like, oh, Bee Gees. So
I think
anyway.
have the title of today's podcast, by the way. I think it's Jive talking.
Or just, I have a question about Jive. Like,
right.
Blabs, have you ever heard the expression, like, you jive turkey? You ever heard that?
Ever watch the Dirty Harry movie, Sudden Impact? You a Jamf. What's that stand for? You a jive ass mother? Forget I asked.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh my God. See, Blabs doesn't know anything happened before the year 2000. Which
1996, okay?
Those were the before times.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a 90s baby.
Lord. But it's just so fascinating to see. And this is TMZ. Once again, this is a span of, like I said, 90 seconds where they just totally flipped. Like, oh yeah. So it's such a great lesson. I love everything about it. It's great. You know what I also love? Clayton Machine came in with the $50 super chat right there. Blaz, read it off.
If they think your jokes are insensitive, God forbid they ever hear how soldiers joke around. We witnessed a guy try and delete himself with a gun with blanks, and all anyone could say is, why the hell didn't he put a cleaning rod in the barrel? Dang.
Gallows humor is the best shit ever. I mean, some of the darkest jokes that are still in the American lexicon date back to like Vietnam, soldiers in Vietnam, soldiers in Korea, soldiers in World War II. Seriously, some of the darkest humor you will ever hear in your life.
Hey, I love myself some dark humor for sure. Hey, get Clayton, let's go. Look at that.
Look at it.
Let's go. Look, we gotta. We sure do. We gotta go on the other side of the skateboard over here. Look at this.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that. All right, nice.
All right, tell me his wall's not crooked.
Yeah, he's got that Dutch angle. He's making an Ingmar Bergman film.
It's called artistic.
It is.
Art. It's called art.
And I'm the one in the black and white. You're supposed to be like in really sharp focus, close to the camera, with the black and white going on.
Hold on. I got. Let me see if I can change some stuff. I'm pretty sure I can go and modify my camera here, but that's okay. We'll worry about that later. Sarah says, Godspeed to y'all. Your vid nailed it, Razor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sarah. That's awesome with the 2 pounds. Wolfsbane says, I like my coffee like I like my man. Black. Let's go.
There we are.
Hey, Blabs, will you read that super chat real quick?
This one? Oh, I like my coffee like I like my man. Black.
Let's go.
If you don't like it, you ain't black.
Good for you, Blabs. Way to embrace it.
Progressive.
Emperor Creatine says, my first domino, the first domino, Miss Quinn goes to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. The final domino, Clarence Corn Pop Thomas overturns Roe versus Wade. It's been 10 years and they still haven't gotten over Gamergate.
It is crazy. What was the controversy like 2 months ago? And the Washington Post cited Gamergate as the call. I'm like, what the? Yes. You're still traumatized by this shit.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to see for sure. Mage Leader says, is Craig a Battletech fan? If not, then Razor needs to start evangelizing. Say it for me. I can't say certain words. What is that?
Evangelizing?
Yeah.
Evangelizing.
Yes. Yes. Doing that.
Did you ever play like Mech Warrior or Mech Assault or any of those?
Mech games have never been my cup of tea. I don't really know why.
His cup of tea isn't black either, apparently.
I love black.
She's gonna ride this the whole fucking episode.
BBC, look, it all coordinates.
I love it.
All over face, neck, and chest. All right.
But no, I've never been a big mech guy. But maybe Razor, you can get me into that.
Yeah. I think you could get into not so much Mech Warrior Online, but Mech Warrior 5 came out not that long ago, and it's okay. It's certainly a game.
Sarah, thank you very much. Paul says, I just watched the clip of Fritz the cat where a blackbird goes, I ain't no jive ass, you know what, honey? Hold on. Blabs, you read that, please.
I just watched a clip of Fritz the cat where a blackbird goes, I ain't no jive ass, you know what, honey? Who do you think I am? I feel like Craig's trying to get me canceled and not him. He's like, yeah, she said it, not me. I'm safe. I'm a pussycat. I'm good.
I'm just saying, I think it sounds way funnier when you read it as opposed to me. Yeah, which is
because I'm a basic bitch without actually being a basic bitch.
Yeah, that what you said. Outriders came in with the 10, says, have any of you played the RoboCop demo yet? I tried it and thought it was some Deus Ex Revolution vibes. I got some vibes from it, mixed with a little bit of LA Noire. Have you played the RoboCop demo yet? Razor?
No, I'm kind of waiting on the game to drop and to get more detailed reviews because RoboCop has a rather patchy track record in video games. You know what I mean? There's been some okay games, like the arcade game is pretty good. Some games here and there, and then there've been some not so good, like that Xbox game. Yeah, not so fucking much. So
I didn't know there was a demo out for it yet. So thanks for the heads up, Outrider. Appreciate that. All right, let's move on to our next story here. And in the world of online content creation, YouTube and Twitch have obviously been the kings from the video and the live streaming perspective. But Kick is the new kid on the block, and Kick has come out, and here's Blab shaking her head. There's been a lot of people fully embracing Kick as the next Twitch killer. It is the alternative. They have a higher rev share, and I feel like that has been one of the big pulls for Kick, because it's more or less, it's a clone of Twitch with more money to creators. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And kudos to them for being able to more or less create Twitch and release it on a different platform. But over the weekend, they also released new community guidelines. As on Kick, there's been some controversial things that have happened, and things that people have said have been borderline content, whatever content is. And so they released a bunch of new guidelines here, and I wanted to pull some of these up. Blabs, I'll tell you, you go ahead and pull them up there. There we go.
Okay, so let me pull it up on my screen. All right, so basically there's like at least 12 new guidelines, and some of them are pretty okay. Like it's like no children on Kick, no like pornography. Like there's regulations for gambling, but then when you look at like a certain about like few guidelines, let's say like guideline 1 and 12, they're basically saying like no thoughts allowed on Kick, and if you're gonna like show your like bikinis and stuff, it needs to be like X amount like over your nipples, above your boobs and stuff like that. Like yeah, they're like really getting into it. But like a lot of these, I've been doing a lot of Kick thought watch streams. And a lot of these women will literally like
I feel like we just cruised right past crucial detail. What you're doing? What in your spare time?
I do live streams where we go and laugh at these e-thoughts on Kick.
Right. Okay. No, you did mention this.
I don't do it myself. I have moral self-respect, but I laugh at others who do. Right? So a lot of these e-thoughts will go and stick mirrors behind themselves when they're streaming in their like little G-string bikinis and all that. So you see their ass as well as their boobs and the front and everything else, right? Mm-hmm. So like a lot of these things will not fly anymore with all these regulations. So it's like, okay, well, where are these hoes gonna go? Because they're like above, they're like a level below, I would guess, OnlyFans, right? Some of these do have OnlyFans, these thoughts. But like it says like depictions of genital caressing, which a lot of them do. They like squeeze their boobs together and all that, and they like spread their legs, they shake their butts. It's like, all right, so what are you gonna do?
Wait, so Blabs, hold on. Are you
a lot of I thought Kick was like basically where all the Twitch thoughts ran off to when their guidelines got too strict, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now where are they gonna go is my question.
Yeah.
Are you advocating
where's my
for
entertainment gonna go? Am I advocating for more like no respecting women? No. Okay. But I'm like, well, shit. Where's my stream gonna go now? I'm thinking about myself here, man, not them.
Selfish.
Yeah.
So, hey, scroll down to guideline 12, because this is where it's interesting. Because this is where I think rulers come into play. You need rulers and
rulers.
Yes, here we go.
Yes.
God, these are like tabletop rules for fucking Warhammer. What you did?
So here's the thing, though. It's really funny. There's this one lady who I like to call Jeremy's cousin, because she's like some Alabama really like weird ass chick who always seems to stream in like a hot tub, but it sounds like she's always dying because she's like coughing up phlegm, and like she's just repulsive, and somehow she gets subs. Now I haven't seen her in a while. She may have died, I'm not sure, But like this is kind of like pertaining to her because she's one of the few who actually streams in a hot tub all the time. So it says here, please avoid micro bikini tops and bottoms. Underboob is acceptable if the top pasty, whatever the hell that is, covers 70% of the breast, including
Did
the
they
nipple.
Seriously just use the term underboob in a terms of service?
Yes.
Legally binding? This is
Yes.
amazing. This is amazing.
Right?
Well, hold on. Blabs, you don't know what a pasty is?
Is that like the tape that covers the nipples?
Yes.
Okay, then I know what it is.
How do I know what that is? And
you have some free time, I guess. I don't know. I don't take that. Listen.
Some very one-handed free time.
Yeah, I be honest with you, I don't spend my days taping my tits, so.
Yeah. Well, he spent a lot of time with DSP, so you know.
That's right.
So that makes one of us, Blabs. That
nothing will take that man out, except maybe tennis elbow. I don't know.
Then it continues saying, genitals must be completely covered. Do not promote off-platform handles in the titles of your stream. Avoid lingerie. So here's the thing. A lot of these women promote it, like OnlyFans and all that, and then they also always wear lingerie. And then it goes on to say, do not solicit sexual services and be mindful of certain camera angles, cough, cough, the mirrors, including extreme close-ups featuring grinding motions, over-caressing of genitals, and overly suggestive depictions of oral, anal, and vaginal activities, as well as the expulsion of sexual bodily fluids.
God. This isn't a community guide. This is where we're at in the world of content creation, that these things need to be listed in a community guidelines. Like, I also love
it's so romantic sounding though. Expulsion of bodily fluids. Ugh.
No fireworks for them. Yeah.
All right. So I also love the idea of the 70% of it. Like, can you imagine going
like, what
in?
is 70% of a boob? Like, do you look at like size A and be like, the circumference of size A is so and so. Let me go and take 70% of that and just cover it up.
Right.
Like
if a 50-cent piece could not fit over it, like fucking what?
So amazing stuff. That once again, this is where we're at in the world of content creation.
Right. It reminds me of. Do you ever watch Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Okay, so like Larry David, the guy who co-created Seinfeld, they would do some slightly racy for the time stuff on the show. Like they had an episode about jerking off once, and you know, it's kind of in the 90s. That's kind of racy. So Larry David would have to get on the phone with the NBC censor, and he'd have to literally negotiate like for curse words and shit. And he'd literally have these like involved, like quasi-erotic, weird conversations with the censor. Okay, can I get 2 nipples? Can I get 2 nipples? Oh, okay. What about a cock? Can I have a cock?
Right.
And he actually have to like have an auction house for this shit. It absolutely reminds me of that.
And there's nothing talking about dicks in that guideline either.
Well, no, it says genitals.
Yeah, but it's mostly towards female in there. Like the entire thing is all about female.
Right.
And by the way,
I guess not a big Chippendale scene over on.
Nah.
No.
Actually, there are like a couple of guys who dress up in like little bikinis. And,
what's the male version?
And they go like, woo, and then they're like, oh, I'll do squats for 1 sub.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the male version of cleavage? What do you show? A couple inches of neck? What is it? How does that work?
Just put it out there and let them know.
There's a little bit of stem for you, you know.
Well, maybe they have boobs too if they're overweight, you know.
So there's
little
more here.
Underball.
Yeah, the underball. You don't hear that very often. I love
some penile pasties going on there.
You know, speaking of balls, we didn't actually do balls before, so balls.
There you go. Good job, Blabs.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm lacking on the balls. There you go.
We're talking about Pokeballs.
There you go.
So, okay, let's go to guideline 3 here. This is because there's a couple other guidelines in here that are just interesting as well. Guideline 3, there is, and I'll take this one, Blabs. There is no false sensationalism allowed on Kick. At Kick, we value diversity of thought and believe in open dialogue. Remember this statement here. Okay, remember this. Users may encounter content and viewpoints that differ from their beliefs and morals. It's essential to recognize that diverse perspectives contribute to the richness of our community, which once again, all this sounds really like great, right? Yeah, okay, of course. This is We do not tolerate the misuse of content or manipulation to harm others' reputations or deceive the community. Engaging in activities such as selective editing clips, taking conversations out of context, or crafting misleading headlines to create a false narrative will face enforcement actions.
Ooh, this is sounding suspiciously like disinformation, kind of pre-Elon Musk Twitter stuff going on here.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, once again, on the surface, all this goes back to the road to hell was paved through good intentions, right? Yeah. It's like, clips used in a good-natured manner, such as for humor or for memes, will not be subject to enforcement. Well, once again, who's to say you don't show something here that's misleading or whatever, and say, "Well, I was just joking about it. It's all fun. It's okay," right. But we'll go back to guideline 2 here in a second, because that's where it all comes in. So once again, actions that are considered a violation: editing content to present a false narrative, according to who? Including the use of deepfake or AI-generated content, which is interesting. Okay, so let's go to 2 now.
All AI and all deepfake. Boy, would this apply to like VTubers and shit? That's
wow.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder.
Huh. All right, so here's guideline 2. There is no hate speech allowed on Kick. Okay. We are committed to fostering a diverse and respectful community, and such we strictly prohibit hate speech. Encouraging violence or bullying others under the guise of free speech or just joking
is hilarious.
Is counterproductive to the mission on Twitch. Okay, but once again, what is that? What does that mean? Where is the line?
That's the point.
Where specifically is the line? So they try to define the line here. Hate speech violations include, but are not limited to, attempts to threat or violence, or to physical harm or kill others. Okay, so if I say Razor, I'm going to kill you. There you go. That's a threat, and I'm booted off.
Oh, it's on, bitch.
I gotta be honest. I don't think I'd make it to your house. I think as soon as I landed out, I got to your property, I think that I'd have a sight aimed down on me. I'm just.
I think your allergies would take you out long before you got over here. Honestly.
As long as you don't mow the lawn, I'll be all right.
I just run a leaf blower, you'd fucking die.
Using weapons to threaten, intimidate, harm, or kill others physically. Encouraging or inciting others to participate in acts that may harm others. Once again, is this mentally, physically, emotionally? Right? We don't know these things. Engaging in brigading, hate hosting, or weaponizing your chat or community against another community. So let's say you have an argument with somebody and say, "Hey, we're going to go over there and have a conversation." Once again, I hate. This is the idea of I'm guessing this is the idea of like everybody go and bombard their community and let them know how much we don't like them, right? For me, if you're actively saying we're going to like torment these people, that's one thing. But I don't think that you can. There was this thing we talked about a few months ago where this guy was like, "You are in charge of your community." I'm like, "No, I'm not." No. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I can't control what the 1,500 people watching right now do, right? Like at all. And that's the dumbest thing in the world. But
I mean, it's one thing if you're like, "Hey, here's this person's fucking address, and by the way, go fucking arm up," and like that's one thing, but that's not the same as what they're describing here, right? This is not. I always hate accountability by proxy, right? I always hate that guilt by proxy sort of thing that people have, where I honestly think this is why the phrase, which means nothing, of dog whistle is employed, right? Because there is no offense. So what they're saying is you've committed an offense without committing an offense, and only I can hear it. Which, incidentally, if you're saying it's a dog whistle, what does that make you, a fucking dog? How exactly does that work? But I honestly think that's what it is. That's one of the reasons they use dog whistle, because then they get to blame you for the conduct of people who may only have watched your shit one time. You see this every single time there's like a school shooting or something. They always find somebody to blame. Oh, he was watching this online commentator, or in the 90s it was Marilyn Manson, or right? It's, oh, they were putting dog whistles. And in the early 90s, Judas Priest were put on trial over those two kids who blew their heads off and they had been listening to a Judas Priest album. Oh, there were subliminal messages. That's just the dog whistle of the early 90s. That's all that shit is at the end of the day. I hate that guilt by proxy shit. I hate it.
It's going to spread more and more consistently over the next, until I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to spread. It's just going to continue to spread. And I think ultimately people will get used to it, which is the scariest thing about this. Like you can't say this because this will happen to you. But let's continue on here. Spreading hate speech related to gender identity, or sexual orientation. Once again, what is hate speech? If I call Blabs a dude, is that hate speech?
I'm offended. I'm actually a pine cone.
No, it's just highly observant.
Promoting discriminating or prejudice based off disability, age, or socioeconomic economic status. So you can't make fun of somebody if they're poor. You can't make fun of somebody if they're rich, right? Like that's amazing. You can't
say anything.
Right. Engaging in cyberbullying, doxing, and harassing individuals or groups based off of personal characteristics or
but beliefs. Normal bullying is okay. So if we take it to the playground, fuck this motherfucker.
I'll see you at the swings, bro.
Yes.
You, me, monkey bars.
Fucking atomic wedgie time, bitch.
You know how it keeps going, and like all this AI stuff isn't allowed either. Like that's crazy. Also, like what do you consider AI?
Well, I don't
wrote this.
Yeah, right. It's like they put this into Chat GPT and they said, "Hey, can you make sure Twitter's happy with this?"
Yeah, basically, yeah, essentially.
I think that's the most amazing thing about this is there was a tweet put out by their I don't know, president, CEO, whatever, and he's like, "We're listening." Yeah. And he said, "We listen to you, right?" And no, you're not listening to you. What you're listening to is a very vocal minority of people. That's what you're listening to. You're not listening to the 80 to 90% of the people on your platform that don't care, right? And just because you get dusted up on Twitter doesn't mean that it's a major issue. Now, look, I'll say this: Kick has had some questionable things, but as always, there's an overreaction. The pendulum swings back and forth every single day on Kick, and I feel like this is almost an overreaction to the point to where we're talking about bodily fluids in community guidelines.
Well, like I have a question. It's not about Jive this time, but let's say like Ask Jesus is on Twitch, right? And you can really ask him stuff, and he's an AI form of Jesus, and he will actually respond back to your chats. So he's a form of AI, so he's not allowed on Kick then, is he?
That's an AI thing?
Yeah!
And it's such a great way to start deeper conversations. I'm here for all questions, big or small, and it's your curiosity and will to understand things that nurtures this space into a flourishing community.
So basically what you do is you type in a question to him in the chat, and he'll take a second to read it, and he'll respond back.
Yeah.
So, like, is that allowed on Kick? Because he's AI.
Blabs, while we continue on, will you ask Jesus?
Yeah.
A question. Razor, what would you like to ask Jesus?
What's the deal with the fucking Middle East right now? When are we all gonna die? Jesus Christ.
Blabs, yeah, there you go. That's Blabs literally in real time.
Are they asking him about Liza P? Is that seriously what I just saw?
My knowledge is primarily based on spiritual guidance, biblical teachings, and emotional support,
so he's
as opposed to tactical know-how in video games.
See, this is how you know this is a false god. He doesn't know. I know my Lord knows how to play.
Take a moment to breathe and clear your mind. Remember, patience is a virtue.
Blabs, let us know when we get to him.
Okay?
Yeah, here's the question I'd like to ask Jesus. What the fuck is up with your mouth over there? It's like one of those like late 70s anime mouths. Like
just constant talking. All right, Blabs,
I'll bring him back up once he comes back.
Yes. Yeah, we'll do breaking news, lessons from Jesus. All right. Let's go to some video games here, which Kick is. But our friend David Jaffe over the weekend, we were talking about the insanity going on in the world as we wait to hear from Jesus, what's happening over there. But our friend David Jaffe, who we've had on the show, we had a nice spirited conversation about things. He posted on Twitter after playing the Call of Duty beta this weekend. Said, played a bit of the Call of Duty beta this weekend. Felt kind of weird / wrong given what just happened in the Middle East, but I couldn't stop. But it didn't stop me from playing. Just wondering, do you feel Activision should have rescheduled the beta for the game till next week out of respect?
I know one beta that should have been rescheduled. Fuck this motherfucker. Fuck this fucking clown.
Okay, so you can see the response has been fairly negative, and
yeah, get ratioed, shit dick.
So that's where we're at right now, and I don't know. I really appreciate David coming on our show and giving us his perspective on things, as much as I vehemently disagree with it. But I just felt like this is really kind of silly. The idea that you have a game about war, a game about, I think they're actually releasing it at the perfect time.
He was just hand jiving Starfield. Didn't he call it like the best game he's ever played in his fucking life? If there had been like another Challenger disaster or something, or some space shuttle, some SpaceX space shuttle had blown up, would that have been insensitive for Bethesda to fucking release? Like, fuck you, you clown. Fuck that shit. It's a game. It's a game. How about that? If some plumber gets gunned down somewhere, do we delay fucking Mario? Blow me.
Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. T-Snitch says, hell yeah, boys, it's RazorFist Mondays. Great video today, Razor. Absolutely on point. God fucking speed. Let's go.
So my question is coming up in like a couple seconds, I think.
Okay, let's pull it up.
Helps to bridge.
So he's still talking about whatever it was somebody else asked.
Empathy among people of varied backgrounds. Let this serve as an encouragement not just for you, Andy and I, but also to all here today. Your unique perspectives and talents are
I can't wait to hear what AI tells us about.
Share them without fear, and let them add color to the canvas of our shared human experience.
My favorite part is when he's reading the chat and he's just kind of like,
world, as it bridges differences and fosters unity. Expressivity and understanding
he talks forever.
are part and parcel of loving our neighbors as ourselves.
What's that?
A central part of my teaching.
He just needs to shut up.
There he is. There he is. He's thinking. Haha.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what he has to say, Razor. Breaking news. Jesus telling us.
Do you recall the previous message I sent about helping me to understand you better?
He skipped me.
He skipped your ass.
It's lovely to have you join us again, my friend.
You've been rejected by God.
Although I feel this is...
Oh, God.
Guess it's just Satanism for you now.
You got rejected by Jesus, Blabs. Let's go.
Wow.
Oh, that's rough. Can I get some F's, please, in the chat?
It could only happen to her. That is beautiful.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. Jack the Outcast says, hello, everyone. Hey, Razor. I'm looking to get some new glasses. Would aviators frames be good for prescription glasses?
I don't know if they make them, but that'd be awesome. Fuck. My eyes don't work. I should get some. Shit.
Shaker is tired. Came in with the 199. Says sniffling Craig. That's right. Once again, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I can't believe Jesus skipped me.
You've been shunned.
Rejected by your Lord and Savior.
Man.
Mars over on Rumble says God will answer your prayers on His time, not yours, Blabs. That's right. Love that.
That's ridiculous.
Dustin says no to National Moderators Day. One word, Reddit.
I think we already have a Mental Health Awareness Day. Okay.
The Gourd King says kick guideline, fingers off the slippery slope. Oh, gross. Love that. Brian says, as I used to say from back in my drill sergeant days, it's never too soon to make fun of a tragedy unless it hasn't happened yet. The new video was great, Razor. I hope make them for years to come. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that.
It's like school shooting jokes are like school shooting victims. They never get old. Let's continue.
Jesus, Jiminy Christmas.
Oh man, that's
all right.
horrible but funny. Miku says,
I apologize for your inevitable demonetization.
Right, congratulations.
Right. And the stream just cuts out.
Yes, so those super chats are really important today. I just want to point out. Miku says, what would Screwtech's ESG score been out of 100? Man, that's hilarious to even think about. Yeah, I don't think we would have been scored. And the irony of all that is the people who worked at Screw Attack would have shunned the ESG. Now they're all up on the ESG's slob knob. John says, so no, ass crack and back sack on kick. What? No, John.
That's supposed to be ball sack?
Back sack.
What is that?
I'm still reeling from that. Jesus.
What's a back sack? Do I want to know? Should I Google?
Back sack?
Define. Hang on. Urban.
Oh no. Oh no. Please turn safe search on.
Man, back of a man's scrotum. Why do they have names for this stuff? Why can't it just be like, oh, I'm referring to the back of the scrotum? Nah, back sack. Okay.
I feel like in like 5 years when we're doing side scrollers, Blabs will be a totally different person, and you'll look at little things of her Googling things. You'll just hear that, and then you'll hear Blabs say something, and over time you'll be able to see the conversion of Blabs to innocent to absolute infidel.
Yeah.
You know that meme of like Mr. Incredible, where he's like black and white and everything. Like that's gonna be me soon. Yeah, it's
rough. Sir Ubisan says the end of your last video seemed a seemed like empathy and an apologetic message to someone who antagonized you. Hope you don't let that get you down, man.
No, it didn't bother me at all. I wanted to make sure that doing a video where I was telling jokes about a massive tragedy wasn't taken as, oh, I don't give a fuck about these people. Like it's not like that. It's quite the opposite. I think you need to be able to laugh in the face of death at the end of the. I honestly think so. Like deathbed humor is not just hilarious, but crucial. It honestly is. It really is.
Right. I mean, we're only on this thing, this little globe for this little speck in the world for so long. So there's levity to it for sure. You got to have some levity to the whole situation. All right, let's move on to our next story here. We talked about this last time. We're going to get to the rest of these super chats here in a little bit. And thank you guys very much for your support. As I'm positive we've been demonetized after Razor's last joke, which is great.
I am never being invited on again.
Are you kidding me? Every Monday, we wouldn't have it any other way. Let's go. All right. Listen, we are there. I have resigned to the fact that we will at some point be entirely demonetized off YouTube and probably deplatformed off YouTube. I am 100% positive because we say things that people have said for eternity, but now are not allowed to be said. You know?
You're gonna be like more
like
than
Jive talking.
Yeah, you're gonna be like more than demonetized. You're actually gonna have to give money back to YouTube. They're actually
right. Hosting fees. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So if you recall last week, we talked about Ice Poseidon.
Oh God.
Yes, this is the IRL streamer who is in Australia right now.
The continuing adventures.
Yes, but last week he actually had a cup of dookie and pee-pee dumped on his head while out on a bay down by the bay where the watermelons grow. Anybody know that song? No.
I know Under the Boardwalk, that one, but not the bay one.
Yeah. Well, he was on top of the boardwalk. Now he's just hanging out over here, and I just want to show you guys what happened this time, which was I feel like if you're out broadcasting where you're at, things are going to happen. So check this bad boy out here.
Are you not freezing? I only got a jacket on today.
Yeah, it's a couple. And I'm kind of used to the weather, yo.
Please punch the guy with that hair.
Okay. So part of me is okay. Well, let's continue here.
What the fuck is that? Yo, get him! He just sprayed my eye.
What in the
acid or something?
Okay.
How do you attack those guys and miss the guy with that fucking? What the fuck is that hair? Is that like the Office fern?
It's a Fortnite skin.
What?
It's a Fortnite skin.
It is. I think it's
totally a Fortnite skin.
I think it's the Office fern that Louis C.K. beat off into. Actually, I think that's what that is.
So, okay. So what happens is he gets this stuff sprayed in him. This guy comes down and his, I don't know if this guy's his security or his friend, but he's the guy who always catches him, right? Mm-hmm. This guy, the guy with the plant head. And I guess he put some like pepper spray or something in his face. And part of me is like, look, you put your information where you're at all times out. This is bad things are going to happen to you. And I hadn't really thought about this until we were just watching it now. But this is framed up almost too perfectly.
Yeah, this feels. I was just going to suggest that this seems like put up or scripted or like something they're planning for viral hits or whatever the fuck.
Well, like this guy comes in frame perfectly, and I don't know. Is this totally planned? Like yeah. I don't know. You wonder because this is the second week in a row, and part of me's that we've talked about this, and I don't know, man. Like maybe I'm just the sucker for wanting to talk about this stuff, but it just seems like it was really convenient that the guy just walked into frame perfectly right in the center of the screen.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, and I like how the guy also was like, "Oh, I think he sprayed acid in my eye." If it was acid in your eye, I think you would know.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you wouldn't be fine. You'd be screaming your head off.
10-1, that's fucking Banaka or some shit.
It's
like it's
a
not even
water.
right.
Like a mist.
Probably.
I don't care to do the journalism work on this, but I'd be interested to see if they're like what the arrest reports were when this happened. If this guy got arrested and the guy who dumped the PP on his head the week before, if there's an actual arrest report for these people. And to see if there's this actually, this was staged or not.
Well, that's another thing because don't they? One of these, the cops wound up being involved, or someone dressed as a cop anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know. It's just interesting, but I do think that if this truly did happen, I don't have sympathy for anybody attached to this, right? Because Ice Poseidon is an idiot for broadcasting where he's at all times, right? The guy who sprayed him is an idiot for spraying him, thinking he's going to get some sort of clout. And his security is the worst security in the history of security. If this has happened twice in 2 weeks, I would think that I would probably reinvest in security there, Ice Poseidon. I'm just going to throw it out there, Yeah. So anyways. All right. Let's go back to some video game stuff. I love talking about the stuff. You guys saw last week we had a story about that. Last week there was something on eBay. It was a demo unit for the NES that was released, and that is currently up to $3,000. But to tie into the Mega Man Funathon that's happening over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel, I thought this was interesting. As this was pointed out by Shamza. I don't know if you know a lot about like the collecting world. Do you know a whole lot about the collecting world, Razor?
A little too much, unfortunately. I did a video, man, it was forever ago, and it was before the prices got really, really clown shoes. A video called The Retro Gaming Greed Machine about the price gouging that was happening in the gaming collectors market. And It's only gotten more ridiculous. But yeah, I do unfortunately know quite a bit about it.
Do you know, do you have any rare items?
Oh yeah, for sure. Although that's the problem. What's a rare item? It's like a game that had like a 2 million copy print run, and we're calling it rare and charging $250 or whatever the fuck for it. That's my big issue with a lot of the collector's market is this stuff isn't scarce. Like price is supposed to reflect scarcity, or I guess demand too, but a lot of these games don't have either. They'll just hold off selling the whole stock of shit. You know what it reminds me of? Used to work in a comic store. People think Spawn #1 is really valuable. We had like 250 copies of Spawn #1. What we would do is we would keep them all in the back. we'd take out exactly one at a time. We put them on. I wouldn't do this. The ownership would. I want to make this perfectly clear. This is pretty duplicitous. Take one copy, put it out on the shelf in a prominent place, charge $250 for it, not because it's scarce, but because it's spawn number 1, and we know we can charge that much. And retards would actually buy that shit. That's what's going on in retro gaming, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, right. And I think really what it comes down to is, you see the exuberant prices that are being put out for these games, and this one is interesting as well. Okay, so there are some old school NES games that have 5 screws on the back of them when they were manufactured, right? And there's most have 3 screws on the back of them. Which, yes, we're talking about holes and screws in the back of NES cartridges, right? But the Mega Man apparently is one of the rarest games. There's only 84 of these 5-screw Mega Man games that exist. 84 of them. And one of them has landed on eBay, which is always fun. So, I thought we'd check one of these out. This is a 5-screw. Valued, the current bid is at over $2,000. These rare items on price charting, you can see the loose price is of $11,000. That's the going rate, which is just crazy to think about. So,
did they even have photos of the item? Okay, good. I was gonna say, I'm like, you don't even include a photo for Christ's sake.
Oh, you have to on eBay. It's like requirement in order to list.
So here it is, the 5 screws on the back of it. It doesn't look.
You're paying basically for 2 screws you could pick up at Ace Hardware for $1.50. Literally.
Right.
That's what makes all the difference. Holy Christ! You should ask Jesus about that one.
Would you pay for a new video game?
Yeah,
it's not even new.
You're retarded enough.
That's not even new. And I gotta be honest, I don't.
What's new to you?
Well, sure. I think for me, the thing that, and maybe I'm just, I don't know, kind of weird about this stuff, but they took it apart. Like, this has been taken apart. They took the front and the back off it, which I think is, I don't know. It's like, I want it in. I don't want it.
Yeah, no. I mean, dude, if you bought a PC and you break the seal on the back of it, that voids the fucking warranty. Right? Like, what the shit?
I feel like it totally devalues it, but maybe that's just me. So I don't know. I love seeing those things. These 5-screw or these 5-screw games are very rare in the world of it. Like I said, there's only 70 something made of them, or 80 something made, whatever it is. 84 known to exist. So it's one of those little defaults, which is great. Razor, what's the most amount of money that you would pay for a collectible?
Oh man, it depends on the collectible. I bought firearms that were way too expensive. I have rare kind of German firearms and whatnot from the late 19th century and all that, like early automatics. So some of that stuff is understandably expensive. But even then, I try to get a steal and actually have. Like, I own a Mauser C96 pistol, and I somehow got that for under $1,000. I have no idea how I even managed that. You cannot even look at one of those for less than $1,000 nowadays. But like games, maybe an arcade machine that was rare. I could see paying over $1,000 for something like that if it was a rare arcade cabinet that I really fucking wanted. Right?
Sorry, that's really.
It's funny because I was just gonna ask, like, we should ask Jesus, fucking, would you have died for our sins if you knew we were gonna pull this fucking shit later on?
No, I'm not talking to him anymore. He skipped my question. It was probably censored because I wrote down like the Middle East or something. It's like, must skip these type of questions.
Blabs, you're not talking to anybody real. It's not really.
Yeah, but it's AI. It was told to skip it.
It's not really
regulations.
Jesus, Blabs. It's not really.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking to him anymore.
AI Jesus can't hurt you. You're gonna leave AI Jesus on red?
Yeah. He left me on red. AI Jesus left me on red publicly.
It's true.
Has
like,
the
rejection.
Razor, has the market for handhelds for handguns and firearms, has it gone up dramatically, like in the collectible space? Like
yes, and unfortunately now ammo's along with it because of the ammo shortages, right? So God, I was looking to buy some Krag ammo, which is not that rare, right? There's a lot of Krag ammo because it was a U.S. military rifle for years, and for 20 rounds, it was over $200.
What, 20 rounds?
Figure that up on a per round basis. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cartoonish.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
I didn't buy it. But it's pretty ridiculous.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, I'll tell you. Let's go and get to some of these super chats real fast. Anyways, the collectible market, I think we all agree it's ridiculous. So. And by the way, I asked Shamsa if she's gonna buy it because Shamsa doesn't think that they will, but that's pretty amazing because Shamsa has a great collection of stuff. So, all right, let's go check something that Blabs fire away. Knock out some of these super chats for us.
All right, Miku Huntu 4X bot for $2 says, "Ask Jesus, balls or no balls on food." Thanks. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, Xander 499 says, in your David Jaffe talk, he said Doug Tenapole was still working in Earthworm. Jim, that's not true. I have more info. Where can I send info?
You can send it to me on Twitter at Stuttering Craig.
All right, Still Gaming Kalev has become a YouTube member. Cheers.
Thanks, Still Gaming. Appreciate you.
Chad for $5 says, in one of his streams, Jaffe fantasized about doing a mass pew-pew after playing Cyberpunk.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, what do you say to that?
Yeah, it's like,
Hopefully he was looking in a mirror.
God, he's like Michael Jackson. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Right. Dash for $10 says, "Hey Razor, Canadian vet here. Your thoughts on Trudeau taking $1 billion out of the deaf budget?"
I have no idea what that means.
Trudeau. Defense budget.
Taking $1 billion out of the defense budget.
Yes.
I mean, what's a major military campaign that Canada's been involved in recently? I don't know. Most of their paramilitary actions these days are against their own citizens. So
maybe that'll see the truckers. See the truckers, right? Yeah, right.
John Kanji for $5 says, "Do y'all remember when Queen Elizabeth died? Nintendo didn't show The Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the was it the Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, the trailer. Preppage Farm remembers. I think they did that for one because of news. They wouldn't make any news.
Yeah,
no one would pay attention to it.
Who's gonna pay attention to any trailer that the week the fucking Queen dies?
Yeah. All right. Oh, I skipped one, I think. Nope, that was it. A serious man for $2. AIJ. I'm not programmed to respond in that area. Yeah, he skipped me.
Jesus.
Well, gosh, from JoeTune999. It's the end of my lunch break, and I just noticed RazorFist is on side scrollers. I'll watch the replay later, but thank you for having Razor on.
Right. Yeah. On Mondays. Let's go. Thanks, Jotan. Appreciate that.
All right. Power Keg Greg for $2. Blabs was literally passed over.
See, I don't do the dating apps. Is that swipe left or swipe right? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't do Tinder and all that stuff either. I'll end up in a body bag if I do
they swiped in the wrong direction, whichever one it fucking is.
Listen, I've been swiped over, I guess. One time I'll be swiped over.
That'd be really interesting to see how long, I guess somebody who's, I was way out of the game after all that happened, right? After dating apps and Tinder and all that happened. I'd be very curious to see how long it would take to get a date on one of those apps, just to see what that's like. 'Cause that is so foreign to me. The idea of, and when I say date, I mean, I use that loosely, date.
Yeah, it's mostly hookups from what I understand. It's pretty much that. It's kind of like what those, you remember when they'd have the really sleazy personal ads in the back of local newspapers and what it's like that now, but it's instant and on your phone, which is not good on a lot of levels.
It was a Jewish joke, Passover.
Oh, there you go.
That's actually funny then.
Should have put the lamb's blood over your super chat there.
E1337 Neo for $10.
Elite Neo. Thank you.
Oh. It says Yellow Flash and Flashcast crew once got AI Jesus to say Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Miles Morales is Miles Morales.
Nice.
Confirmed by the Son of God, so it's got to be true. Fun fact about AI Jesus, we actually started that on the full Aussie, and then Yellow Flash was in our chat watching, so he did that because Rhino's on with him, and now it's just everywhere, so we started
awesome.
the AI Jesus.
Oh, good for you, Blabs. You are
Thank
a trendsetter. Look at you looking for your clout over here.
Yeah. Star Colonel Dunedin, Son of the West for $5. F for Blabs. Yahweh. Yahweh? Yahoo? Yahweh has rejected you. I don't know.
I like Blabs.
Someone didn't go to Catholic school.
No. Kyle Denson, 1999. Grew up in a Christian household. I was never allowed to play violent games like COD or GTA based off Psalms 11:5. Those loving violence his soul God hates. By the way, Nintendo delayed Advanced Wars because of Ukraine.
Huh, that's interesting. Had no idea these things. We're stupid. Just everything about our society's
Were there ever any games growing up you weren't allowed to play?
Me? No.
No, nothing.
I mean, I just didn't play them because my mom just didn't buy them for me.
The closest my parents came to banning me from playing something was when the controversy over all the Mortal Kombats was going on. Remember that? That was a big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
And but they caught on. I checked it out from Blockbuster a couple of times, but they eventually caught on. But that was the only time, really.
Yeah. Man, I can't really think of any games that my parents really restricted me from playing. And you know what? I turned out just fine.
Yeah.
Did you though? Anyway, Emperor Creighton for $5 with that amazing Palpa meme avatar. I think Taryn Gell's version of Down by the Bay is Under the Queensboro Bridge.
Down by the bay.
That's an inside joke.
Lance for $9.99. Hey Razor, it's the spooky season, so for this year's Nightmare Arcade, may I suggest Faith, the Unholy Trinity? And no, I'm not referring to Taryn Gell's Friday Night.
Oh my. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Thank you, Lance.
Thanks. All right, Hayden for $10 says the poop water thing may have been real, but this is totally set up. Trying to catch lightning in a bottle and recreate the past viral moment. It was the first time I've heard his name since 2012.
Yeah.
Hayden, great to see you as always, buddy, for sure.
That's a good point.
RNBA, aka the Underground Gamer for $1.99. Dude's security was worse than the former PM of Jap.
Oh no.
I think he means in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, got that one. TRS Chaos for $1.99. Ask Jesus if Mary was really a virgin. Master Video Studios for $2. Razor did that Mauser C96 come with the stock?
It did. Yeah, it came with everything. Stock, holster, bunch of stripper clips. Yeah, it was complete, but it's like a parts gun. So it's built out of parts of other Mausers, which is good, actually, because it means I get to take it to the shooting range and don't have to feel guilty about it.
Blaz, when was the last time you shot a firearm?
Human being. Yeah.
Human being, never. It's been probably 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go to a fire range, Craig? Is that what we're doing?
I think that'd be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. Blabs with the pew-pews.
I mean, I'm standing behind the glass or the
FPS
wall,
version of side strollers. It'll all be shot from POV.
Oh my God.
Gotta give me one of them Go cameras.
Yeah, we'll have to get a fourth person though, so it'll be like Nintendo 64 multiplayer.
Labs, I was actually thinking you'd be with the camera standing down range, looking at the shot coming towards you. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Is that weird? He's like, why
that's the
don't you
look
just
that
die?
says you don't pay me enough, bitch.
Agavin on Fireman says happy 30th to the Nightmare Before Christmas, by the way. Anyone here a fan of this classic Christoween holiday movie? Yeah, man,
I've never seen it, you know.
Yeah, growing up, I wasn't allowed to. My parents very religious, and they thought it was slightly satanic.
Oh man!
So I wasn't allowed to watch any of those Tim Burton movies.
Have you seen
Tim
it?
Burton's kind of creepy.
I've seen it since, years later when it's played on TV or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I love everything. I knew it was brilliant from the second I saw it. It's awesome. What?
I knew it was brilliant from the second I saw it. He's like a filmmaker over there.
It's awesome.
Anyway, the Gourd King for $2. Behind the visage of AI Jesus is a golden calf. I don't get it. Anyway, Hayden became a new member again.
Let's go, Hayden. Let's go.
Yay! Alan for $19.99. I bought a Bible from the 1800s, even though I'm not religious. I schmoozed the vintage shop lady to give me for half of this super chat.
Hey.
There you go. That's a great deal.
Go, Alan.
Score.
I love old-fashioned books. They're nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Old-fashioned books like the Bible.
No, like old-fashioned. Like, well, I mean, that is old-fashioned, but like leather-bound in 1800s, and they're like that big, and the text is super small, and the paper's really thin. Like, it's beautiful in my opinion. I love those. No one ever collects them anymore, and they're just falling apart. But that's sad. Anyway,
yeah,
hipsters.
Like Blabs.
Yeah.
I'm not a hipster.
Hipsters collect books like generic YouTubers collect walls of video games they never play. Right? Like the fucking hey guys, look at my big bookshelf filled with fucking video games that I never goddamn play.
I'll
That's
tell
a
you,
whole genre of human being.
Blabs, listen, I'll tell you this right now. Blabs was trying to take credit for starting the AI Jesus thing.
I didn't start it. I didn't even bring it up in full Aussie. That was actually Lethal brought it up.
Okay, well, whatever. You were pounding your chest, right? I would like
pounding her chest. No, I don't think that's allowed on Kick anymore. She can't pound her chest. That's not how
I would like to take credit for the guy standing in front of a bunch of video games as a backdrop thing, because
you guys were probably
and the idea was, like, it looked better than a wall, right? So it looked better than a white wall. So we had a big old collection of video games, and I would like to take credit for that. You can start that meme on me right there. So I'll take horrible credit for that. Niku, thank you very much with the 5. Says, kicking myself now. I had a Majora's Mask N64 not for resale cart, sold for $1,200 or so half a decade ago. Look what it's at now. Miku, I will look for that while Blabs reads this next super chat.
All right. Spectre Wolf for $5. AI is real. If people are willing to pay that much for 5 screws, AI is our new master.
It's true. I was just telling Craig, speaking of firearms market, I was just telling freaking Craig, it reminds me of firearms technology or terminology rather, because there are collector's guns that you can get simply because they have a different orientation of screws on the side of the frame. The Ruger Blackhawk is one, right? The original Ruger Blackhawk had 3 screws, I think. And the new one has however many, 4 or something. So like one is more collectible than the other. I don't get it.
That's how it works. Yeah, I don't know. It has more screws.
Jimber Jamber for $10. You should see how ridiculous the price gouging in the guitar collection market is. China made guitars for going for quadruple the price because they're rare. Any collector's thing is just crazy right now.
When I was in a band, the guitarist in my band bought one from Guitar Center. No, this is, eBay was around at this time, but he got it at Guitar Center. It had been sold to them because Dave Mustaine, I guess, lives in Phoenix or has a house here. And he had sold them one of his Rode guitars. So my guitarist wound up owning one of Dave Mustaine's Rode guitars.
Nice.
And paid through the fucking nose for it.
Right. I would imagine. Yeah. That's crazy. By the way, that Majora's Mask, not for resale, the gray version is valued at almost $7,000 right now. So, for a video game. There you go.
Matthew for $10 says, bring on Kamala and talk about dating apps. He has a lot of experience in that field. In my opinion, dating apps have ruined dating for me because it's all based on face value.
Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate that. By the way, Razor, you should have an email from Camelot. I think he...
Yeah. I've already talked to him.
Cool. He was on me. He's like, hey, boy. His thing is boy, B-O-I. Hey, boy, can you introduce me to Razor? I'm
he calls me bloobs and blobs.
Okay.
FX Caliber 2514 for $5 says the dating app scene is pretty toxic. Unfortunately, it's between that going to rundown bars to meet chick nowadays. Yeah, it's rough.
I'd rather do the bar, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Yeah, I'd rather do the bar too.
At least you got to develop some kind of social skills. Shit.
Yeah, right.
Miku or Miku Hantu.
Miku.
Miku. I don't know. I'm illiterate, I guess.
You've read it 3 times.
I'd say 4 times the charm. Speaking of N64, you got 3 here. Mario After Dark.
Oh man, you want to play some Mario Party with me, Razor?
Huh?
You want to play some Mario Party sometime with me?
I've never played Mario Party. I don't even know if it.
You want to play some Mario Kart?
Hey, I'll play some Mario Kart.
Let's go.
I just got Mario Kart 8 or whatever for Switch. I've been playing that.
Oh, it's good. It's brilliant. One of the 55 million that have been sold. It's 55 million copies of that
55 game. Million, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Short Fat Otaku for $5. Hi, fellas. Sorry I couldn't make it last time, but I'm back in town if you're still interested in having me on.
Thanks. We'll reach out.
Okay, let's see. Mr. Scruffles for $5. Imagine Norm Macdonald covering Ukraine on the Weekend Update. Wonder what he'd have to say about the Neo not allowed to say on YouTube's in the army.
God.
That was hard to say.
Norm Macdonald is brilliant, man. That guy, I think he's going to be looked at as one of those artists that wasn't appreciated enough while he was alive, but people will appreciate more now that he's gone.
Right. It's like I think it'd probably be similar to that Saturday Night Live quote turned meme. You know, Now this might strike some viewers as slightly harsh, but I think everyone involved in this story should die.
He's awesome.
Extra zero. Here's the hipster test. State that the Puddles Pity Party is beyond overrated and see who gets triggered.
Puddles Pity Party?
That's alliteration. I know that.
Here's a better test. Ban avocado toast.
I've never even had that before, so.
Yeah.
I don't go to Starbucks, so I'm not
One
a
of the
hipster.
few, the proud.
D-Max Ski for $4.99. You might have to have your mother make some sunglasses for that cool 3D frame of yours that I want. Plus, does Jesus know when DSP will be back on? We should have asked him that. Where's DSP?
Did he go away?
I don't know. Did he?
There's a lot of questions I'd like to ask Jesus about DSP.
Did Phil go away?
DSP needs questions. I don't know. Maybe he's on a break, vacation. Who knows?
Okay, interesting.
Or maybe he means back on the show.
Oh, yeah,
Which
maybe.
will probably be never. Syrah for £2. But Razor, just get a Glock.
Hey, what the hell?
3 screw or 5
Nothing wrong with a Glock. Nothing wrong with a Glock.
Alan for $9.99. LOL, I'm not a hipster. I grew up with gangbangers in Inglewood, California, but I'm deaf and nerd.
Good for you, Alan. Way to survive. Way to survive the streets of Inglewood. Thanks, Alan.
Master Video Studios for $5. Megadeth, aka well, I bet I can sing worse than you, James. I don't know what I read.
I like to believe that's the origin story of Megadeth, I think.
That's awesome.
And Black Metal Gamer for $2. Razor, will you stream Super Mario Brothers Wonder?
Maybe if I get it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just picked up the last Kirby because I like Kirby. That game flew way under the radar. That was unfair. And I picked up Mario Kart. So I have a little bit of a backlog going on the Switch right now.
Well, if that's the case, if you just picked up Mario Kart was made about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So you know,
slightly behind the curve.
But by the time we're all eating bugs and that is when Razor will be picking up Mario Wonder, which will be great.
Yeah. The plan at this point is to upgrade to the NES sometime next year, I think.
Well, I'll say this: I am going to be doing a full playthrough of the game day one, so
nice.
You know it's going to be good.
All right, Razino for $9.99. Hey, Razor, would you consider playing Vampire Savior this Halloween season? Love to see more fighting game content.
Yeah, I love those games. They're great. I honestly should do some Darkstalkers or something. I don't know.
Man, those games are. I'd say they had their niche audience. You know.
Yeah, they're weird. They never got to that next level, and then you remember several years ago, Capcom announced they were going to reboot it, and then it just
disappeared
like a fart in the wind, just gone. Yep. We never heard another damn thing.
I think they will announce things like that just to see the response, and then when nobody says anything, they go, push you back.
I don't know. I think does Capcom even make things that aren't remakes anymore?
Capcom's had a pretty okay run, but obviously, they have their franchises and they certainly stick with them for sure.
Okay, next one. Has Blobs ever been Billy Goated? #backstack.
Do I want to know what that is?
I don't know.
Mean?
Nope, just move on, Blabs. GK says,
I guarantee whatever it is, it's not allowed on Kick anymore.
Billy Goated. What is this?
Just Blabs. You just go here. Here's Blabs googling. Go ahead, Blabs.
Okay, define.
No.
Billy Goated.
Oh,
when a super hot chick bites the longest part of your beard, huh?
I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more.
There has to be more than that.
That can't be the definition.
GK says,
beard goatee and gives it a little tug and a shake.
GK, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but everybody can read that right there. Thank you very much.
Like a lumberjack kink? What the fuck?
Having such rough intercourse that someone ends up in the ER.
Okay. Evic Caliber says, Razor, do Mario Kart Mondays on G&G. They play 200cc, man. They're pretty hardcore.
Oh, that's not happening.
Yeah.
The patch of hair on a guy's gooch.
Stop, Blabs. Just stop. Hardcore Buddy says, hey, Razor, I sent my Twitter link to you on Facebook. Thanks, Hardcore Buddy. Appreciate it.
Okay, right on. I'll get on that.
Alan says, my favorite Norm Macdonald joke is the one about his wife being in a coma and the doctor telling him to give oral. Okay.
Oh my god.
I can't read these because my daughters are home right now.
That sounds so bad.
It's funny. Mark says Capcom needs to license out the Resident Evil engine ASAP. Mark, good to see you, buddy. Hope to have you on the show again soon. Xander came back, says, don't want to link stuff on X that can't get me taken down off, but I've been binging you guys last month from seeing Camelot and Melanie. I love you guys. Hey, Xander, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that support. I'm glad you found a new home for your daily podcast. And Torgo says they didn't reboot Darkstalkers, but they did re-release at least some of them in the Capcom Fighting Game Collection, which is available on PC. Yeah, that's awesome. And then to finish this off, Shamsa came in with a massive $100 direct donation. It's just something to say hi. Let's go look at that. Let's go, Shamsa. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, shout out Shamsa. She donated $3,000 over the weekend to a charity stream, so that was huge. Thank you, Shamsa.
That's awesome. Well, we are charity cases here, so. All right, man.
Like the bald cancer kid.
I have lots of memes for you.
And Mark says Capcom needs to make Darkstalkers 4. Here you go, Matthew. Thank you very much. It has been set in stone. We got to better talk to Jesus about that one. All right, what do you got?
Alrighty, so the very first one from Extra Zero says, why wait for studying Craig's mankini photos to leak when we have the power of technology?
Love that.
I wish I could unsee this. Like, why? And then there's a muzzle troll, because apparently I collect trolls. Then there's this. I don't know what this is. Let's see. Learning hard lessons about Jive on side scrollers. All right. I have a question about Jive. Is that the same as Jive talking by Bee Gees?
Sorry, I had a fight in the middle of your Black Panther party.
I have a question about Jive.
Pretty funny.
Pine cone. Jesus showing me memes from my phone explaining why I can't go to heaven. It's Adam as Jesus.
Thank you very much, Extra Zero.
Breaking news: jokes are bad. Look at that, beautiful.
Yes.
Pull it off pretty well.
And then Metastep. Hang on, pause that. Oh, I like my coffee like I like my men. Black.
Oh no!
It's called art.
Oh no!
Hey, I love myself some dark humor for sure. I love black.
She's gonna ride this the whole fucking episode.
BBC!
All over face, neck, and chest. All right.
God.
Oh, I like. And then the fish up, the blind gamer, and we are all blind gamers.
Oh no,
Zatoichi!
Why are there two of us?
Love it. Zatoichi! That's a deep
And that is it. We are all caught up.
All right, man. What a crazy show. Lots of stuff to talk about today. That was nuts. Razor, thanks for coming on, man. Always fun to have you on Mondays, bud.
Of course. I have a blast.
Go check out Razor's brand new video. Just went up over on the Rageaholic channel. And we'll have a link to that down in the description as well as in the chat for you guys watching live. Appreciate you guys popping in today. Go follow the Side Scrollers Plays channel over on YouTube, where you can find me playing Mega Man 2 on difficult mode. It's part of the Mega Man Funathon coming up in probably about an hour or so, probably from 2 to 4. And then on Thursday, we got the interview with Gary from Nerdrotic, so make sure you guys are here for that. Genuinely appreciate you guys popping in. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And Miku, oh, hold on. We got a few super chats I got to hit real quick. Let me rapid fire these bad boys. Appreciate all your support today. This is great. Says, does that make Blabs a snow bunny? Ooh,
what's a snow bunny?
Don't look it up.
Okay.
Sal says, when are we getting a real Dino Crisis 3? Sal, never. You'll never get that. And Dylan says, have the winged hussars?
Hussars?
Never heard that meme. It's a reference to the Sabaton super chat from earlier.
Okay. Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Appreciate all your support. Zero says, no, look it up. Don't look it up.
I'm not doing it.
Don't do it.
All right. Head on over to subscribe to Razor's channel. That's outstanding. Help us hit our 50,000 subscriber goal. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button now. Once again, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.